Today we are here with One Ton Lee. Thank you for being here, dude. Thank you for inviting me into your house. And this amazing, oh my God, if I could pick one place in the world to live, I'd live in here.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. And the fact you've made your own monolift, and
Yeah.
it's, guys, you guys gotta see it. It's goals. You would be so happy. Dude, you've got world records. You've got records. What is there? You've got them in multiply, right?
Yeah.
Multiply, single ply, and raw. What was? Yeah.
And classic raw.
And classic raw, dude.
Yeah, I hold the 733 in masters, 40 to 45 squat.
So that's goals, dude. I'm like, I don't understand how you guys. I want to do that one day. That's one of my goals. By hitting a 700 raw, a classic raw, that would be amazing. Do you know how many records you have? Like, do you have any world records? No.
I don't know. I know I got some world records, but I don't know how many I have exactly. Right?
I don't know, bro.
I know it's not something that I more look at the numbers than records. I'm not too much into records. There's certain numbers that I want to hit that are in my head. You know what I mean? That like an 800-pound bench and multiply. You know, and I'm looking at getting that. I'm close. I hit 755 my last meet, and mind you, I didn't have the spotters that I got now helping me out. It's just been me and my wife, you know, and she hands off to me most of the time, you know, and there's hardly anybody here when we were working out. Now I got a group of guys, though, that are coming over that are really helping me out with the multiply, so
Hey man,
hopefully
I'll drive out here.
there you go.
If I get to train here, I'll drive out here.
Hopefully I can get some bigger numbers in the books now.
Dude, and I think you will, man. Dude, you know, single ply, multiply, it's a lost art.
It really is.
You know, I've started maybe 6 months ago or so. I started training in it, and I'll tell you what, when I started, I didn't know what I was doing myself to. You know, Chris, my coach, he was like, hey dude, we're gonna do this. You want to do it? I was like, okay, cool. It's a new experience. I got in it, and like the first day, I was like, everything hurts. Everything hurts. How? What the heck, dude?
It does not feel good. And I tell everybody who asks me about it, I said, it's gonna hurt, man. If it hurts, you know you're doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, there's when I was breaking in my multiply shirt, man, it cut me so bad I was bleeding from the arms.
Wow, dude. I was complaining because I got a little bruise.
Yeah, it's funny because I'll go to take a shower after working out, and I look in the mirror to make sure, you know, I ain't got no bruises or anything going on.
Do you still get them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I had it's gone now, but you
Oh.
can see the circle.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, and that was another phantom one that just showed up. It's just, I was just looking in the mirror one day and I was like, oh crap.
So you're telling me to get used to it?
Yeah, yeah.
You get used to it. Get used to it. Dude, in your suits, what's the highest squat you've had? Right? If you don't, like, what's the highest squat you've had? In competition?
In competition, 925 at the Arnold.
In the Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get invited to that, right?
Yeah, you have to have a qualifying total to get invited to it.
A 925.
Yeah.
Dude, what's your total?
20 and multiply 2335. That's my highest. That's with it was a 925 squat, 765 bench, and my deadlift. It's because I got short arms. I'll blame it on that, but my deadlift was, I believe, 635.
Dude, wow. Oh my God.
Well, compared to every, you know, when people ask me about my squats in the 9s and yeah, my deadlifts is in the 6. You know, I don't have the proportions for deadlift, but for like the bench with the short arms, you got a shorter stroke. You know.
Yeah, so you win on one thing, and then some things you suffer, but that's fine. That's for anyone, honestly. How long have you been like competing, like in general? Like, have you always been powerlifting, or did you ever want to do something else? That's what I'm trying to say.
Ever since I got into powerlifting, yeah, it's been focused on powerlifting.
Yeah, dude, I do physique, but you know.
Funny story about that is just right before I got into powerlifting, they moved the Mr. Olympia competition from New York over to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my wife went over there, and man, I was like starstruck because you know I used to look at the Flex magazines and see all these guys in there. So I got to meet Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, and all those guys, right? And I was all into bodybuilding. So me and my brother got invited to go work out with Ronnie Coleman in Texas.
Wow, dude,
So
that's cool.
we actually flew to Metroflex and worked out with him and a couple of his friends, you know. And that was a cool experience, but that's when I figured out, he took one look at us and said, yeah, get into powerlifting. Bodybuilding ain't for you guys.
He told me the same thing.
He said, you guys are on a permanent bulk, might as well just stay that way.
You like, give me a chance, I'm working on it, man, I'm working on it.
Yeah, working on my six pack. But
Working on my six pack. He was just hating on the power belly right there. Dude.
Yeah, working out with him though, man. I thought I knew how to work out at the time. You know, I would do 315 squats for reps and everything. But man, to watch him do front squats with 405 for sets of like 10 to 15, like nothing. I was like, oh crap, I knew nothing about working out.
And I bet that motivated you, right?
Oh yeah.
In a sense, it was like I need to get there. I need to get to that level of experience, right?
Yeah. As soon as I came back, it was just by luck. My wife went in to go buy me a piece of equipment from Wheeler's Fitness, and we met Ken Wheeler, and he was actually state national referee at the time. I think it was for GPC or some other organization back then, but yeah, he asked to meet up with us, you know, and met him, and then he has his gym, the Hog Pit Gym here in Bakersfield, and we trained with him for, I trained with him for, I still call him coach. I still ask him for advice. So, yeah, that's kind of where it all started, and our first competition was in Las Vegas, and it was Sin City Barbell put it on. I can't remember the name of it, but it was back in 2005, and back then everybody wore gear. You know, I don't even think
like
there
suits,
was,
right?
yeah, everybody wore multiply, single ply, or whatever. I don't even think that there was a check to where you go raw. I think you just entered.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because raw wasn't that
Popular?
at the time. So I did mine in single ply. I bombed out of that meet.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah, it was a learning experience. But I want to say everybody that was there was so nice. Everybody was helping each other out. There was because you figure, you know, a bunch of big powerlifters throwing each other, you know, throwing weights around, knocking each other down, but it wasn't even like that. Everybody's there helping each other and giving each other advice. So that's what kind of drew me in, you know, big time. I kept on wanting to do meets after that.
And that's what I love about powerlifting, is that even if you're against the guy next to you, you see that guy on the platform, you're still gonna cheer for that guy. But then once they get that lift, you're like damn it,
Yeah. Come on.
wait,
No. Yes.
no, what do I do?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I had that when I competed at the Arnold. Me and the other guy were a neck and neck. I mean, I pulled my deadlift, and I'm a couple pounds ahead of him. He pulls his deadlift. He's a couple pounds ahead of me. I'm like, damn. So I came down to the last deadlift, and I deadlifted my 635, whatever. But that made him have to deadlift 705 in order to beat me and win. So I went back out into the audience so I could see him, you know, right in front of him. I actually stood right in front of him when we triple it. So he got it to his knees and dropped it.
Oh,
and and I'm like,
sorry, dude. But, and that's how it is, man. I mean, you want the guy to win, but you also you gotta win. You want to win. That's what you've been working for, dude.
That's what we're there for.
Yeah. Now, how was that experience competing at the Arnold? How many times have you competed at the Arnold?
I just competed once because I mean, to get back there, you know, fly back there and everything costs so much, you know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And then I don't make hardly any money at coaching or doing this, you know. I do it for the love of the sport, really. You know, I love watching people excel and get their lifts, and actually listen to what I'm saying and, and go out there and do it and PR their meets, you know. I love seeing that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Well, like when you were there on the platform, how did it feel just looking out? You know, I was because that's one of my things. Well, one day, like if and when I get there, I just want to. You know, is it an experience you can say put in words, or was it like?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm relatively calm when I go to meets. I try to put myself, and I told one of the lifters this: put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like think of like your all-time best lifter or whatever, and how they look when they're out there on the platform. And I try to put that in my head, you know. It's like I'm not me. I'm somebody else right now. So I go out there and, you know, tell you the truth. Once I start setting up underneath the bar, like the crowd goes away. Everything, it's just me and the weight. You know what I mean? And that's why I try to do it every meet, because I don't want to get psyched out.
That's how it was my first meet. Like you look like you. I saw the people when I was like, oh no, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I saw everyone. I'm like, oh my god! Hey, everyone, just look away. Let me do this and then back out.
Especially on the bigger stages, man. You know, when like at the Olympia, you stand up and there's people all throughout the expo, and you look and it's just like a huge crowd. But I mean,
You gotta learn it.
it's automatic once you touch that bar. It's just automatic. You know what you're doing. And just go do it. See, you want to lift right now?
Yeah, let's go. I want to lift in that. I walked in. The first thing I walked around. I didn't say a thing. I was like, oh, I love this. I'm like, so this is it. This is what I want. Dude, to have a place like this one day is it's my goal. You know, seriously.
And little by little, you know, it took us over 15 years getting little by little.
Dang, dude. This is cool. So do you do a lot of training? Do you do like a one-on-one training?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do. Well, I try to keep it to a handful of people.
That's a lot.
Just because the sessions are so long, you know. Like just training one person down there, or even here, it could take up to 2 hours. Sometimes if we're squatting, 3 hours. You know, just the sessions last long. So if I had a whole bunch of people, I couldn't be there to actually coach.
Mm-hmm.
But just a handful.
And it's only fair. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to have like 30 people in here and you're, you know, training someone. You can't put 100% into that one person, which is, it's cool. And a lot of people don't do that, but they should do that because you need to invest in that person that you're training. It's a personal trainer.
And it is an investment. All the time and energy, it's a huge investment.
You need to get to learn that person, you know, the ins and outs and how is he, you know, how is he, how is she, what works, what doesn't work, you know? Is there anyone, like, in particular, I know you've trained with Ronnie Coleman, which is incredible. Is there anyone you would want to train with that you one day would like, dude, if I could train with that person?
You know, I've trained with Scott Mendelson, the bench press before. Scott Cartwright, I went to his house and trained with him. There's not many people that, maybe Blaine Sumner.
Dang it, what was the question I was gonna say?
But I was able to meet him too at the Arnold. It was funny, we were getting on the plane to come back, and he just happened to walk in the restaurant that we were at and sat down next to us, and I could,
You're like, what?
I gotta say what's up and get a picture.
Dude, I gotta start walking with you. Wherever you go, I'm going, dude, where are you going? Oh yeah, I'll be right there. Dude, you're 4 hours away. That's fine. I'll be there in whatever time. So do you think that single ply multiply is gonna start growing back up again?
Yeah, I do, because you could only get so far raw, and then there's an extra adrenaline rush getting those big numbers that you can't get raw. Honestly, I mean, you're not gonna feel that much pressure raw. You're just not. Your body might give out. Because I mean, some big guys, they can handle that 1,000 pounds of raw over years of training, but I mean, that's something that I don't think I would feel raw. you know. But in that suit, oh, I felt every bit of that.
Seriously? Wow. That's I want to feel that. Just the feeling of having 1,000 pounds on your back. I mean, the feeling of having 600 pounds on my back is like crazy. So you know, more than that, I'm like, you know, it's incredible.
And it's a high too, because there's been times where we're benching in here, and then, dude, I'm so pumped up even after everybody's gone that I can't sleep. Because it's just such a high for me. It's like to have that much weight over you. You know, I think I got to 865 that day on the bench press.
On the bench press.
On the bench press. Got up to 865, and that was like a huge high for me. It was like,
A little bit monster, man. You're a freaking monster, dude. That's incredible, man. Wow. I'm like, wow. So, is there any competitions that you're looking forward to this year, or anything that you're really?
I'm just
Shooting
looking for a number. I want to get the 1,000-pound squat in multiply, and I think I'm getting pretty close. Might not happen I got competition February 1st, so coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm training for at Lock It Out Barbell, Dave Douglas's gym. They're gonna have a meet where I could do multiply and use the monolift. I think we're actually taking this monolift over there to use for the competition. And then I want to get that 800-pound bench, which I'm close to that too. You know, I've been overloading.
It's like right there.
Yeah, it's right there because I hit last training session. I hit 775 to half board for a single, and then we overloaded a little bit, put a reverse band on there, and went to 849 one session, and went to 865 the next session. So it's close, man.
It's exciting.
But in
I'm
gear,
like feeding off your high. I'm like, I love that.
in gear, it's hit or miss. Even in competition, it's hit or miss. You never know how your gear is going to fit you that day. You lose a couple of pounds, it's not going to fit you just right. You know, you gain too much and you can't get your suit on. It's just, this is how bad I am. I will weigh myself the morning that I'm going to lift. It's not even competition. We're coming out here in the garage to lift. I'll weigh myself. Okay, this is where my weight's at. I make sure to eat right the night before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We have spaghetti, pasta, you know, whatever, the night before. And I kind of treat almost every training session like a meet. But to be at that level, you kind of have to. You know what I mean? In order to handle those big
That means
weights.
you gotta go all out every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know the competition's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
How does your mindset change as you get closer, or do you is there something you start doing?
The only thing for me is I start eating healthier, I guess you would say, and stop drinking as much. Well, I don't drink that much all the time anyway. But I won't drink on the weekends.
Yeah.
And if we do go out to eat, I'll have a beer or something. But I mean, I just tighten up my diet and I watch my weight a little closer coming into the meet.
So when you're about to do a lift, it's heavy, it's 1,000 pounds, it's 800, whatever it may be. Is there something that goes through your head that you're it just switches on, like for me, it's kind of like a deep anger situation, you know? That's what goes through my head, and that's how I can do the lift. Is there something that goes through you? It could be something peaceful too, but I mean, people work differently. I know people that listen to Elton John and they'll work out, you know?
That's funny because there's been a couple of times where we listen to oldies going heavy, you know what I mean? But nah, it's as soon as I grab that bar, I'm thinking to myself, the weight's not gonna win. I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? I'm not. I guess it's a rush that you're gonna pick up that much weight, and then it's like, oh man, what do my friends say? Pick it up and let God take the rest.
Yeah. Seriously, that's I couldn't have said it better, man. That's true. So for the newbies, the new guys, do you think that they should get a coach right away if they really wanted to start a career in powerlifting or in anything?
I think, yeah, or at least seek advice, because there's a lot of stuff that can mess up your meat, and it could be as easy as the way you warm up for your maxes, you know, because I tell people it's not, when we go to these competitions, it's not a workout. We're not here to work out, we're here to max out. You know, and I see a lot of people doing a lot of reps.
Like in the warm-ups.
In the warm-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, to where like you should really do your reps to warm up with just a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you get a plate on, maybe 2, and then after that, it's just singles from there. You know, your body, you should warm up your body with the bar basically, and then start climbing weight. You just keep going, and then you got to keep that momentum too. Like I use knee wraps when I squat, so I get to a certain weight, maybe 315 or 400, then I'll put my knee wraps on. But I want my bar speed to be the same. So the heavier the weight gets, the more you're gonna slow down. But then now add a belt. Now add your knee wraps. You know what I mean? And as you're adding weight and you're adding the different levels of gear, tightening your belt a little bit more, you want that bar speed be the same. So that's like, I mean, that's something that like new people won't get unless they do have a coach.
Yeah, I mean, when I started training, I didn't have a coach. I was just, you know, looking back, I'd make fun of myself. Yeah. I'm like, look at that guy. I should have been on like Gym Fail Fitness, like those fail videos or whatever with my half squats. They were higher than anything. I was like, I got a 315 squat, and it's like,
Right.
it doesn't go down, not one bit. I had a specific question that I wanted. So, do you? I asked Lord Elliott this one earlier, and it was in my head. Do you think that fluff is needed for competition? Hey, this isn't a question that I asked. This is a question that I asked my people on Soul Nation. Like, what do you guys want? What's a real question that you guys have? And that was one of them. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll ask it. I don't mind.
What is fluff?
Like, I mean, like a little bit of body fat. Like, do you need body fat to?
No, but like you could tell a difference in me from weigh in to when I step on that platform, and it's not because I'm trying to put weight on. Well, okay, I am because I cut weight, but what it is I'm trying to get all the calories that I can in my body. I mean, I'm drinking sodas, I'm eating pasta, I'm trying, and it's not so much to bloat. I mean, that happens with it, but it's to get the energy to carry me through the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have all that stored. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
lift the big weights, you need to eat big. So that's my look on that. Yeah, because you could tell I'll weigh in somewhere around 305, but when I go on the platform, I'm more 312, 315.
That makes sense. No, yeah. Again, that wasn't a question. I tell people, I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. I meant to have this. Do you consider one program to be the correct program?
No. You have to rotate through programs. I think and I do. I'll rotate through the conjugate method, 531. When I go raw, juggernaut, I rotate through all of them, and it's so you don't get stagnant or stale. So you keep progressing.
Keep progressing.
Yeah.
So there's a quote that sometimes I'll ask people, and I'm like, do you think this applies to this? Progress over perfection. Like, would you rather have progress every time or perfection? Progress over perfection?
I'd rather have perfection.
Every time?
Well, see, not every time. There's those days where I just want to just go for it, and it depends on how you feel that day. But if I hit a certain weight and it didn't feel right, I didn't feel like I got it clean, then instead of going up, I'll probably hit that weight again. And then if it feels clean, looks clean on video, then I'll go up. And I always videotape myself, not so much for Instagram, but for me to watch the speed, because time stops when you have that heavy weight, and it looks like it goes slow, and that's for a lot of lifters. I mean, even during your warm ups, you're like, damn, that felt heavy. And then you look at the video, I was like, nah, that was pretty good speed, you know?
I felt that.
Yeah. Especially warming up at a meet. I had people go, man, dude, that felt heavy. And I'll show them the video, and I was like, oh shit, I did that. That went pretty good.
That's good.
So,
So your first meet, how was the feeling of your first meet? How did that feel? Like, what was going through your mind?
oh man, dude, that was so long ago. I was just trying to make it through the meet, and I actually bombed out on deadlifts. I didn't know what a hitch was, so every time I grabbed it, and I was in single ply, so every time I picked it up, it hit my suit, and I would jerk to get off my suit,
Yeah.
and you would see the chalk fly off of my suit, and I'd lock it out, and they'd call me for hitching. I'm like, what is hitching? I don't understand, and I didn't know for the longest time until yeah, that's that jerky motion, the up and down. I was like, oh man, but I got it up. Yeah, but
Like just
it doesn't count.
There's a little white button. We're good. We're good. So, do you ever feel like you have to stop yourself? Like you're peaking, right? Do you have to stop yourself from ego lifting at times?
I should have yesterday. Yeah, because my program. See, I'm supposed to take my heaviest 4 weeks out, and I hit that 1,003 pretty clean with reverse bands. My ego took over, and I went for 1,005 with less band than I had the week before, and I grinded it out. And being this close, you shouldn't miss, but I shouldn't have grinded that out like I did. And I blew my eye out too.
I think everyone has a little bit of like that they have to work on, because I do that sometimes, and I'm like, I have to chill. Chris is saying no, but yes.
Well, some days you feel good, man.
Yeah,
some days you come in here and like, man, the weight feels light. Like it feels, you know.
You're Superman.
Yeah.
You're incredible, man.
Yeah. Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. So, you use single ply, you use multiply. You also modify it. How do you do that?
Well, I fit it to me.
Yeah.
And
Do you do it for the people, right, too?
Yeah, and I'll have them come in and fit it to them. Because when you buy a shirt off the rack, or even a squat suit off the rack, you know, it's made a certain way, and and everybody could agree who's in a shirt. I mean, when you get a shirt, the sleeves are like 3 times as long as they need to be, you know. And it's single ply, you can't roll them up, so you have to cut a couple of inches off. And then people's arms are bigger, people's arms are smaller, so I could tighten them up, you know, a little bit for them.
How many other people do that? Is it just you?
Nobody I know.
Really?
Yeah, usually they send them back and have them altered, but I could do them.
Do you feel that the weight, like does from the shirt, you know, on the suit, does that strength transfer to your raw lifts?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
feel like it does?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no doubt it does. I mean, when you think about it, holding, being able just to breathe with that amount of weight on your back, no matter what you have on, is a learning process too. Yeah, you have to be able to get your air, hold the weight, and then get your air again. So you could imagine being under 1,000, and then, you know, warming yourself up for a 700 pounds bra squat. You already know how to breathe with 1,000, so you're going to be able to breathe and everything with a 700. And so I do have a girl that's in single ply. She started in single ply, and her numbers jumped up pretty big. And we never went, and we didn't go back and test for the longest time where her raw strength was. Mm-hmm. And she went from, and then so after one of her competitions, we went back and tested it. And she went from 275 to 325 or 335 for her squat. Yeah, I know it was a big jump, but mind you, she started handling 400 plus
Yeah.
on with her suit, and then so when she went to go pick that other weight up, it was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it is, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
When I didn't know that was a thing, but when I started training in single ply and then I transferred to my raw, I was like, what? Wait, what? And I was telling Chris, I was like, did I do that? Did you pull it? He's like, oh, that was all you. I was like, what? And like, this is cool, man. Like, I wish I would have learned about it earlier, and that's what you don't learn about, you know. Not a lot of people do it. It's something I wish people would know more about, you know, honestly. Another thing too, after training for a long time, are injuries inevitable? Are they bound to happen eventually?
Yes.
To anyone?
Yes, to anyone. Yes. I was at the Arnold. So my first bench 725. I came down, and mind you, I train the boards all the time. So and I usually get down to a half board before going to competition. So I took that 725, and I was just about to touch when it rolled. And they caught it pretty quick and stuff like that. And I got off the bench kind of excited because I touched, first of all, in my multiply. Then I went back again, and I got it easy on my second try, and then got 765 on my third. But I was telling my wife I couldn't feel my thumb. When it rolled, it took my thumb and it tore something all throughout here. So that's another reason why I didn't deadlift so much, or else I would have had 700-800 pounds.
Or else, you guys are lucky, honestly.
But it ended up, it was 3 days later, I bled out all through right here, and I still don't know what I tore because I could use my thumb again after a couple days, but initially I couldn't.
Wait, did you go to the doctor?
No, we were still in
He
Ohio.
said, I'm fine. Yeah, whatever. It's okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, but injuries are bound to happen. Yeah, I mean, a good example. I mean, even if you're raw, and I've never seen this before, but there was a girl squatting here locally at our meet. She went down. She came back up, and on her way up, she screamed real loud. And she broke her arm.
She broke her arm?
Broke her arm, squatting. And I was like, man, I never even heard that before, but the torque was so much, her coming up, it just broke.
God, dude, oh my god.
Yeah, so.
I'm happy I haven't been in a competition where
I mean, but injuries happen in every sport.
Yeah, no, that's true. Everyone has their own thing.
Oh yeah, my shoulder's, and I know how it happened. I benched 500 raw, and it was around this time. So, and I was training for a meet, and I had to do, it was 455 or something like that. I had 3 sets of 3 with it, and I went to my third set, and I went to do a couple more than what was on the program, and I felt something, but not that bad. We racked the bar, and I was like, I'll call it for today. And then ever since then, anytime I got up to 315, I mean, this is years ago, anytime I get up to 315, I get a pinch in my shoulder, so it hurts. It hurts so bad. There was one time I was in here, I said, I'm going to the emergency room.
Seriously?
Yeah,
wow.
I actually went to the emergency room, hoping they could do something, and they gave me anti-inflammatory, sent me home, and then I went to a specialist, but they couldn't get me inside the MRI machine because I got a BBMI. So so long story short, doctor said as long as I can still move and work, that
Okay.
yeah, they're not gonna do nothing. So that's another thing. Raw, I think I got 429 not too long ago, or whatever the kilo was, but in here just messing around. So I could get up to that much raw, But anything else, the shoulder is killing me. So, but with the bench shirt, I don't feel it. I don't at all. Once I warm up and put that shirt on, then I could go 600-700, and I won't feel it.
That's incredible, man. You keep saying it like it's nothing. That was 800 pounds.
In my single ply, my last warm up would be 405 with the slingshot. And then as soon as I put that shirt on, I mean, because I wear a tight shirt. As soon as I put the shirt on, I go single ply, I'll go to 6, somewhere around 625. And my multiply, I have to go around 650, 677 for my first warm up in the shirt. 'Cause, yeah, that shirt's tight.
I can't wait to walk around like that. Yeah, I was benching 800 the other day, and then it was sort of. You say no, the nonchalant, like it's like whatever, man. So do you? Are you really? Are you always wanting to mentor someone? Like,
Yeah.
You know, because you know.
Because you got knowledge, you want to share it. I love doing it. I light up, you know, when I talk to people about it. It's what I love doing.
Yeah, I know, that's awesome, dude. And for a lot of the new guys, and new girls out there, because I know people watch this. Do shoes really take a part in training? Like the type of shoes you wear. Like, you know, could you wear these? Could you wear?
Yeah, I've seen people
like like squat in them. It doesn't. You don't think it affects them?
Yeah, because the cushion in them. Once you start getting up to heavier weight, you with the cushion inside the tennis shoes, you could roll an ankle or something. You know, I like lifting in chucks. I like the flat sole and how it comes up high.
Yeah.
On your ankle. So, and I like lacing them tight, especially when I'm gonna go heavy.
Yeah.
So, I've tried the Olympic lifting shoes.
Yeah.
I have 2 pair, and I'll train in them sometimes just to get some good quad work in and change stuff up, but I don't go too heavy in them. And me and my brother, we it wasn't a competition, but it was training day. We were supposed to go 600 for as many reps as possible, and I was wearing the Ollie shoes, and he got 4, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna beat it. You know, I got under the bar, I could only get 2. I'm like, what the hell? Then he did another set of 4, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get 4 this time. Get under there, I can only get 2. Threw the shoes off, and I think I got 4 or 5 with them.
So it made a huge difference.
Yeah, well, because like it pitches you forward. If you're more quad dominant, it's gonna work really great for you because it you get you on your quads. But if you're trying to use your butt and your hamstrings, you know, a flatter shoe would be better. And it depends on how you sit back in the squat and everything too, how you force your knees out and stuff. I couldn't use them, you know. But the chucks, I love the chucks.
Yeah, I can never get out from the chucks.
Yeah.
And the high top ones, I always feel more comfortable with them. That's just me. And I know a lot of people too, but do you feel that old, like newer athletes are different from like back then, like from like when you started?
I think it's just the mentality now, I guess you would say, because like back then, man, we're just whatever you could do to lift the most amount of weight, you know, and that's still the same way I feel right now. That's why I'm back on multiply. But the new mentality is oh, I could do this without this. I could do this, you know. Basically going raw. Oh, well, now we're drug tested. Now drug tested is coming up too. You know, as a huge thing. So everybody's dropping all kinds of gear off. All kinds of gear. But yeah, I mean, you got you compete raw with the knee sleeves. You see, I got a ton of knee sleeves over there too. I tried basically just about everything, you know. But me, I'm still with that same mentality. I want to get the most amount of weight possible. And then to me, dude, it's like, you know, it's cool, okay, you squatted 140 pounds, drug tested, no knee wraps, no belt, no whatever, you know, but me, it's like NASCAR. I want to see this guy hit that 1,100 pound squat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to go.
I want to see him bench, and if he doesn't bench it, it's going to go on him.
And those spotters, man.
Like that 725 went on me at the Olympia, 744 went on onto my stomach. You know, the spotters and loaders are good, man. They're right there to grab it. It looks like it hurts, but they grab it before it even sinks in you, you know.
That's what good spotters do. I mean, I mean, they're amazing. Some of them are children. The ones that from Broken Iron, those guys are awesome. Especially the guy with the beard. Dang it, what was it? Okay, I had a question that I really want. For the younger athletes, what would you recommend for them to start doing? Is there anything specific? Or
yeah, I wouldn't max out all the time. Me, I'd get form down, and really, what really builds a good foundation is like sets of 8, sets of 10. And then last rep being as many reps as possible, because right at that fatigue state is like a max. You know what I mean? Like I was talking about earlier, I've had the girls in here where they did 95 pounds for as many reps as they could do, and I had the guys in here where they did 135 for as many reps as we could do. I've hit 50. My brother I think hit 55, and Victor. He hit 65, and that's I think the most. But regardless, at that fatigue state is where the breakdown is. You know what I mean? That's where you're gonna find your weak spots. If it's your lower back or whatever. I mean, you don't have to exactly go 135 or whatever. I mean,
but
it could be 225. Yeah, and then you'll find it's better to do that than try to max out every week. And try to see where your weak spots are for maxing out every week.
just max out every day.
Yeah, right.
Tell me how that works, guys.
But that's for the new lifter. That's what I would do, because that's gonna lock in your form solid. That's gonna get your motion going up and down in the squat or even in the bench press. It's gonna make it solid.
It just creates the perfect, like a well-rounded foundation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Is there anything? So, what's like the most embarrassing thing that's happened on the platform?
I wasn't on the platform. I can tell you the one here that was,
Yeah, man,
that was funny, because there was girls in here too, and I went down to deadlift, and I blew the ass out of my suit. You heard a pop, and you see me go, what the hell? And I looked, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm glad it happened here, not at a commercial gym. I could be like, damn.
You're like, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back.
Right. It's been at the other gym, man. I would have to walk through everybody to get to the bathroom. Don't look at me.
Can I cancel my membership?
Yeah, that's the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing on the platform ever.
No, I can't say. It just me dumping stuff
Okay.
or on my stomach, but that's about it.
Dude, like for me, like I wasn't competing, but I was spotting, and I went down to squat on the platform, and my jeans just.
Okay, so you know that. That is pretty embarrassing.
That was pretty. I was like, I have to go change. I'll be right back. Oh man, that's always. I don't want to look back at that. I don't ever want to look back at that. That's like the one thing.
Yeah, other than that, I think I went to one knee with 800 pounds, and they didn't have they had a monolift, but they didn't have the safeties, and they really didn't catch me until I'm down on one knee, and then they actually told me to get out from underneath it, but I stayed with the bar the whole time, and they actually kicked me out, but it looked horrible. It looked like I popped the knee or something, But I got up and told my wife, I said, hey, let me see the camera. Did you get it? Did you record it?
Let me see. It wasn't that bad, guys. It was crap for no reason.
Yeah, everybody's asking me, you okay? I'm like, damn, ask the spotters if they're okay, man. They had to catch that.
Dude, that is always the scariest feeling ever.
Yeah.
I've had that when like a guy will dump like 7 something. I'm like, please. God, I never asked for anything. Please don't let me get hurt.
Yeah, but I stayed with it all the way down to the ground until they told me, hey, get out. I'm like, all right.
Do you think if you want to get sick, like food, like the new people, is nutrition really important to start competing?
Yeah.
Like Sour Patches and Twinkies won't cut it?
No, they do.
Yes.
Donuts,
I'm like, yes!
donuts, everything. But if you're gonna be in a certain weight class, man, I'd start 2 weeks prior to weigh in and looking at your diet. You know what I mean? But before training, you're gonna burn it. So if you're gonna do donuts, whiskey, you're gonna burn it during training. So I wouldn't worry about the calories you eat before training.
I don't count the calories.
Those don't count.
Those don't count.
No. But and then even afterwards, there's some days, man, I'll train real hard and then we'll go eat pizza or something, you know, and then the next day I weigh even less. But the real, it's not before or after the training. The real is during the day, how your diet is during the day, you know, when you're at work and all that stuff.
I agree with that.
2 weeks before competition, I'd really dial it in.
Just like hydration, right? Like hydration is something that a lot of people don't really drink that much water when they should be. It's Powerade and Coke, you know, Coca-Cola, and it'll get me far. It will get you far, man. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Dang it, my mind's like everywhere today. I love your gym. It's not, dude. Honestly, I keep looking around and I'm like, so this is life. So this is love, dude. So this is what it feels like. Do you like? You're training a lot of people right now, right? You don't, or you do have any?
A handful of people.
Yeah. Are you opening any new spots to?
Thinking about it.
You thinking about it?
Yeah, but I kind of want to keep it small, and because it's more personal, like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially if somebody's doing gear, you have to be with them almost every workout, and that's just as a coach, man. As a coach, I feel responsible. If somebody gets hurt, and I taught them how to use the gear, and something happens to them, I feel like it was my responsibility. You know what I mean? So I want to be there for that type of training.
Yeah, I get that. Do you do online coaching?
Just programming.
Programming? Yeah. Do you, like, if you know guys ever sent you videos, like if you, let's say you're doing online coaching.
All the time.
Huh?
My phone goes off all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a little bit harder to like kind of
It is.
cinch in like what's wrong or how to work things?
No, usually if I'm in a good area, I could get good reception. I usually get back to them right away before the next set, and I can move their legs in, and move their box height up or down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then they'll send me the next video with the changes. I got a couple in Lemoore that do that all the time.
And that's cool. Yeah, 'cause if it works, dude, it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you?
And then, but too, before their meet, we gotta get together. You know what I mean? So last time I drove over there, she just competed in. It was Tara. She just competed in the Bakersfield Fit Fest that we had here, and I drove over there once, and she drove over here once for those. There are 2 really important training sessions right before your meet. And they're usually the 4-week and the 3-week out from the meet. Then it kind of tapers down after that.
Do you so what during your training, do you usually do like a lot of ammonia or whiskey or something? Or do you save that for when you get on the platform so when you add that it'll be more effective?
Yeah,
Or do you believe like, no, it's
Nah, like if ammonia, if we got it, if I, you know, I could go without it. It's just nah, it's just mentally for me, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the way I approach the bar, the way it starts from wrapping my knees or having my knees wrapped by my wife, who's getting really, really good at it. It starts from right there, and then the mentality is you know, the bar's not gonna win, weight's not gonna win.
I think that, you know, with like social media and everything, and people, you know, you see guys like at the gyms, like with the ammonia or the slapping, like the loud sounds. People follow that hype, and people think they won't know what it's for, but they'll follow the hype, and then you'll look on Instagram and you'll see commercial gyms and guys always, you know, following the hype. And I'm like, well, dude, do you know what it's?
Slapping each other.
Yeah, do you know what it's for? Because you're about to curl like 100 pounds, bro. You know, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, know what you're doing. Don't just see some dude out there doing it, so you're like, let's go do it. You know, find the reason, man. Find the reason. I mean, the whiskey is final thing. Because everyone is.
That's on Taco Tuesdays.
That's on Taco Tuesdays.
Usually with deadlift or something.
Dude,
my wife had some girls over here, and it was funny because as soon as I left to go work out of town, it was Taco Tuesday. And they had a table out here with drinks and everything, and then bring tacos.
neither of us is invited.
Right. Right. What are you guys doing? Oh, it's Taco Tuesday. Are you guys even lifting?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. Tacos. Dude, for me, Delos and pizza. Delos and pizza, and then Delos after, right?
How does one get invited to train here?
Oh yeah, that's a really good question. That's actually for me. How does one get invited to train here?
Well,
Because guys, I'm gonna take a video of this. I mean, a picture of this, and you guys are gonna be like, "Wow, wow, dude, it's incredible."
well, I do ask a series of questions when somebody asks me, like, coach, because I know the coaches here around here in Bakersfield and stuff like that, and I don't want to steal anybody from anybody. So if you did have I'll ask who your coach was. I even probably call your coach. You know, hey, is it cool? And
It's really respectful. That's really.
yeah, because I want that done to me too. You know, if me and another lifter are, you know, seeing eye to eye on something, and they want to go somewhere else, then that's fine. But out of respect, I think out of respect, you know, they should be like, hey, is everything cool? Yeah, it's fine, or whatever. That's just me, but.
What about for like the guys who just want to come hang out with you for a little bit?
Well, see,
Or is it like a kind of like, dude, I'm busy?
well, you should see when we get in here, man. It's serious. I had a video. I had 1,000 on here, and they had 7 on here. You know, so yeah, it's pretty. They like if somebody wanted to come and watch or something, that'd be cool. But they have to be competitive already. You know what I mean? It's not something that.
It's not a commercial gym. You're not,
Yeah.
You're not gonna come in like, hey guys.
I think this might be cool to do maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
it's something that
This is serious. This is.
yeah,
Like, we're doing it for a competition. We're not doing it to look pretty.
yeah, exactly. So
We're not doing it for the TikTok, you know.
yeah, and because it's so time consuming, then you throw somebody else in that's trying to learn and stuff like that. It's like hard.
I get no. I get what you're saying, because you don't like, if someone is, you want people that are gonna train with you to be already there.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Okay, well, let's go back and let me show you how to. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but like, let me go show you back how to deadlift for 2 hours because you decided to show off a little bit. You know, you
Yeah.
want someone that's, dude, come on, let's kill it, let's go, and we're out. You know. I get
Yeah,
that.
but-
Unless you're training them, right? Unless it's a one-on-one training.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
But and then there's certain people that were new that came over, but they had spotted and loaded at a meet they're, you know, they've been around it and were more interested and wanted to get more into it, and yeah, you know, but I had already knew them and seen them, you know, so that, yeah, that wasn't not a big deal. It's just that, yeah, if you've seen us in here, it gets pretty serious, you know, and the weight gets pretty serious too, so.
And you don't want a novice lifter coming in and like, hey, can you spot me on my 1,000 pounds? You know, and they've never spotted it before, or they've never done anything, because
Yeah, see, those would be the people that's
dude, you, there's the door right there. You can watch from the door. Just please don't touch anything. Yeah, no, I've had spots where I'm like, don't touch my weight. I'm like, don't touch it. Please respect it.
yeah, and you could imagine. I mean, with 5 or 6 big guys in here, it gets pretty crowded real quick too. So there's not that much space. I mean, it's a 3-car garage. So
I love this place. Guys, I'll live right there. No platform right there. I'll take out my little duff, my bag and everything. Like, let's do this. So there's no one you would like, oh, if I could go train with blah blah blah, you wouldn't want to? Like let's say Eddie Hall hit you up right now. Like, let's go. You want to go work out? Would that be a guy?
You know who I'd love to go work? Nick Best. I'd love to go because we competed against each other at the Olympia, and I'd love to go work out with him. He's pretty cool.
That's cool. See, yeah. Plus you get to see him. What are you doing? What are you doing today? Do you so around like right now in the world of like social media and everything, you see a lot of people jumping from coach to coach, and they don't stay with one. Do you think that affects your training?
Yeah.
Because that coach could be amazing, right? But you keep jumping from coach to coach, and you don't even know if that coach was even like right for you. You know, like because you were there for 2 months, and you're like, my lift didn't go up 25 pounds, so now I'm out. You know, do you think that they should just stay with one person or just feel it out? Because every coach is different, and what do you think?
Yeah, I think you should give a coach around 6 months, and even if you're not vibing with them right off the bat, then you know, separate or whatever. But if you're getting a good vibe with them, and you're making and you might actually go the other way sometimes. You know what I mean? Because you're not used to that type training. So, I mean, but it might be a minor setback as you learn new techniques and stuff like that. Because different coaches will put you in different
positions and like programs.
Yeah. So he might start you on a conjugate program that you've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then as you're doing it with these bands and stuff, you're not feeling like you're handling the same amount of weight. But then, you know, a couple of months down the road, you go to max out, and you know, then that's where you see your the fruits of your labor or whatever come out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't give them that time to work with you, then yeah, it'll throw you back going from coach to coach.
Yeah, and something, you know, going off of that is programming important? Is having a program to achieve your goals important?
Yes,
Yeah.
I definitely think so.
To not coming in like, ooh,
Let's
let's
throw some weight around.
Let's just throw the weight around.
No, percentages. I go by percentages, and it's close to the same with the men and the women, but because women will recover a little bit better than men will, just because the fact that they're handling lesser weight, and then the men will recover, but the percentages are about the same.
That's interesting. That's true. Yeah. Programs are important. And nutrition too, and all that good stuff.
Well, I mean,
you'd be surprised. A lot of people, they're like, I'm gonna do this, and then they'll be stronger. And
yeah,
it doesn't work like that, dude. You
No.
gotta go, because I mean, when I first started training, I was like, PR every Friday.
It's a PR Friday.
It's a PR Friday, dude, and we'll get bigger. And then I remember being stuck at 405 for like forever, and I never knew why. And then once I got it, I look back at the video and I'm like,
Either the form was off. Or
The form was off, dude. Everything was off. Everything was off until I started getting serious with it, and then I realized, let's get to it. Yeah. So
So basically, like, for my best advice would be for beginning lifters is the more reps with lighter weights get the form. And when you go into competition, to me, it's not a workout. To remember, it's not a workout. It's the max effort session that you gotta last the whole day. You're doing squat, bench, and deadlift on that day. So you don't want to do 100 reps with, on your squats just to warm up. You know what I mean? You want to minimize. But
you see that a lot.
oh yeah,
Hold
man,
on,
I
man.
know. I know. It's funny. Back in the day, a long time ago, a couple of buddies of mine, we were at a meet, and squats are over, right? Bench is over. We're getting ready to deadlift, and I look, and they're competing, and I look, and they're doing front squats.
Why?
And I'm like, what are you guys? Squats are over. What are you guys doing? Warming up for deadlifts. Dude, me, I don't deadlift that much, but my warm ups for deadlifts, I'll walk by a bar and is there 2 plates, 3 plates? Okay, I'll pull. So usually I start my warm up because you're already warm. You're already squatted and benched. If you're not warm by now, so
cold all day.
yeah. So there's been times where I just walked up to the bar with 315 and pulled a single, walked around, waited for people to load another plate.
You
But,
guys are thanks, guys.
But like I said, I don't start at 135 and do a set of 10. Is my point. And then I don't go 225 and do a set of 5. It's just the deadlifts is just bam, one single, up and weight. But I'm not a big deadlifter either, so
That translates to everything, You're not gonna go bench for 4 sets of 12.
Right.
And then all right, go on the platform,
Right.
that's crazy. A lot of things that I've seen too is coaches, and they won't even teach their athletes the proper things, like the proper commands, and I'm like, you're the coach, dude? Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Or they'll get mad, oh, why did that person get red lighted? I'm like, we're watching the same lift, right? Like that dude just hitched the whole time, and
or didn't listen to the command.
or didn't listen to the command, or I remember I was at a competition one time, and she completely missed the command, and the coach was mad. He's like, why did she get red lighted? And I'm like, the guy was like, she missed command. I'm like, go get him. He's like, this guy, and you're the coach, dude? Seriously? Yeah. A lot of coaches shouldn't be coaches until they get coached.
Yeah.
You can't quote me on that.
And then if you're looking for a good coach, look at their background and what they've done and where they've gone to.
Not because they competed one time.
Right, exactly.
And got 6th place.
Right, and not because they're
Or bombed out.
and not because they're popular either.
Or not because they got 10K followers. Looking good doesn't mean you're strong, pal.
That doesn't mean you know how to program correctly,
Oh yeah, dude. Or they're ripping off other people's programs and reselling them.
Uh-huh.
I've seen that, and I'm like, I've seen this before, man. You're the coach, really? Oh, cookie cutter boy over here. Or girl, I'd be surprised. It kills me, dude. I mean, there's guys out there, there's women out there that are super smart, have so much information, and just because they don't have the followers, they don't get the recognition. They don't get
Right. And they're super strong.
And they're super strong. They know what to do, man.
They could be stronger than that guy that's freaking talking a lot, and then nobody would pay attention to him.
Yeah,
But everybody's all, have you seen this guy?
Ever seen this guy? He's got 60K followers.
Right.
Or he looks really good. Or she's, she wears less clothes, so let's follow her. And she knows what she's talking about. She's a fit team model.
Right?
Dude, you'd be surprised, man. people frustrate me. and people my age, it's always people my age, and I'm like, don't talk to me, get out of here. Get out of my face. Like, talk to me when you got something nice to say. Not proper to say, you know? It's like, but you don't get it, bro. She's a big model. She knows what she's talking about. Hey, dude, tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, so is there anything you would like to, to say to people out there that's been on your mind?
It's just that it takes a long time to get to that level. You're not gonna do it in 1, 2, or 3 meets. And then if you're thinking of competing, compete. Don't. I'm injured. My finger hurts. I stubbed my toe last night. You know what I mean?
Stubbed my toe.
but truth is, man, something's always gonna hurt. I went to weigh in at the was it the Olympia, and noticed that I freaking had a bruise on the back of my leg. I mean, it looked like I tore something, and I had. I think I showed you that one bruise I had. I showed up to last Olympia with one of those, and I'm like, how the hell? Oh yeah, I showed up. It was a world meet in Vegas, and I was telling my wife, man, I'm feeling sick, and I ended up doing the meet. I couldn't talk. I couldn't tell my coach like the numbers. I had to whisper in his ear the numbers, and I ended up totaling 2,000, but. We left straight from Vegas.
You killed me, man.
We left straight from Vegas, drove home, went straight to the urgent care, dude, and I had strep throat.
Oh my god. And you got the 2,000? Okay.
Yeah, it was the gear. I mean, it was the shirt. I mean,
it was the shirt. It was the creatine.
It was creatine.
It was a VCAA. Everything's gonna hurt, man.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt going. I mean, that's just the thing. But if you don't try, you'll never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't talk shit if you haven't done it. You can't talk shit if you haven't done it, dude. I hate that. I cannot stand that. Bro, if I would have competed, I would have been up there. Take a seat, Charlie. Take that seat.
No, yeah. Yeah, there's been plenty of times where I was like, I ain't gonna do it. But like I said, you put yourself in that lifter that you look up to, put yourself in their mentality, kind of get out of your own body and just go do it, and then you could reflect on it later. So I still trip out on like some of the stuff I do, dude. When I watch my videos, I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of weight on me.
Who's that? What's me?
It's like, damn, handsome.
So being handsome does add to your total, right?
Yeah, it does.
Dude, I'm not weak as hell. I need to start bleeding. Dude, that's funny. I can't. Oh my god. I keep losing my train of thought. I'm like having a good time. God, what was it?
Oh, and here's another thing too. Once you start getting up there, give back. We went to Relentless. We've flew to Minnesota and did that Relentless. It's a Hope Kids charity event. That was pretty awesome. They had the kids up on stage and everything. They had bounce houses for the kids and stuff.
That's
so
cool.
We did that. We did. John Marshall puts on. He's gonna put on one in Arizona, and it's another Hope Kids event. To where they raise money, and then we did the plane pull for Special Olympics one year. That was out in Long Beach.
That's cool.
That one's a pretty cool one too. We weren't able to go this year because we had some complications, but hopefully we'll get back to doing the charity events too.
I think that's always important, you know, once you're there at that level, it's important to say, hey, you guys got me here, so here you go, dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's always cool. Plus, it's always cool to go help other people. There's a good feeling about it, even if you don't get anything in return. There's always that good feeling of you're making that one person happy.
Yeah.
Those kids happy. That's always, I love that. I love that, man.
Yeah, those are awesome.
So, before we end this, is like any motivational thing or anything you got in your mind? No?
Huh? That was it.
Dude, I really hope I can get you on again. Seriously.
Yeah.
I would
Come back
I
and
wanna
work out.
I wanna, yeah.
Come, we should work out with us.
I'm gonna be the guy at the door.
Stand right there. Wait, hold the phone, 911.
Well, we're coming back in 2 months. So in 2 months, dude, if you're still available and you're down, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll let you guys know how much it hurt and I cried. I didn't cry, whatever. I didn't hurt. I'm like, I'm gonna walk in. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm gonna drive my home 3 hours back home. Chris, I'll wait for you in the car. No, dude, thank you.
Hey,
so
thank
much,
you.
man. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure to follow him. I'm gonna leave his Instagram below. And look him up, dude. This guy's incredible. I wish we had more time. Like, we got it. Thank you.
I gotta use the restroom.